Hey! Boom, we're in the room. Cool, that was close. We thought we was having a bit of a drama tonight. Young Keith and I, we were struggling a little bit with the tech. So you might just have to stick with us. It seemed to have settled down. Unfortunately, Rich is not going to join us this evening, but he's going to be watching. So let's bring young Keith in. And just as a side note, before I do that, boom, we're going out live on StreamYard. so give it some StreamYard tonight. So here we go then. Get him in.
Boom! I'm in the room with Tim
Boom.
and Richard and Cara and Rebecca. I'm on the whiskey and dry ginger as well. Tim's on the spice rum, and Andy's in the room as well. Boom! Look
Boom,
out!
we're all in it.
Yeah,
Great.
there's bombs about.
Yes. Well, what a weekend. I've had a pretty good weekend. On Saturday evening, we dressed up in our fannery, put my old drinking suit on. No, this one. this one here. Put my old drinking suit on, and we were on a ladies' dinner night on the lower gun deck of HMS Victory as part of the senior rates mess on the senior rates mess in the British forces. So there you go. It was a cracking evening. Really was a cracking evening.
And
great
did you have?
company.
And did you have a few drinks, Tim, or was you inebriated?
We had quite a few actually.
Yes, I thought you would.
It's a
do
bit
somehow.
hazy coming home.
Glasses purple, yellow, diamond. Oh, that's all right.
So the trip back to the old Hill Manor was a bit hazy, should we say?
I hope that a ladyship drove and not you.
She did. We haven't an odd who was going to toss the coin, and she lost. I did say we'll leave her car down there and pick it up in the morning and get a taxi out. No, she's having none of it. No, I'll drive. All right.
Yeah.
Then
I hope
drink.
I hope Richard and Cara had a nice weekend, and Andy as well, and Rebecca.
Yeah.
So I hope Rebecca's on the drink as well as us tonight, because I know she does like nightcaps.
Yeah, do like a nightcap.
Yeah, I do as well.
So
Tim,
what's caught my eye in the news?
Well, hold on, wait a minute. Richard's put 519 subscribers.
I don't know where they came from.
we don't know what's happening, Rich.
And I still can't monetize because I had a look at it and I need some more watch hours or something. I've got to get to 3,000. I've only got 1,202. I don't know.
Is that
I
for
don't
the
know what's going on. Apparently so, yeah. The last 365 days.
Oh, and I would have thought you would have got a lot more, because you put up a lot of videos, and everything.
I do put out quite a bit of content.
Yes.
So, well, it's what it is. I'm not bothered. I'm probably not going to monetize anyway.
Yeah. But at least you got to 500. I wonder how long that'll last. 519.
Not bothered.
It is for the year. Yes, that's the requirement now. 3,000. Yeah. It is. Yeah.
So
okay. Then sorry about the interruption.
We just keep plugging away at it.
Yeah.
So yeah, having a look at what I picked off the news, and the first one that sort of struck me was this: Lucy Ledbury has got 14 life sentences, so she's going to die in prison, possibly.
Yeah,
she may.
Well, she will. She will definitely.
Yeah. Well, you don't know. I mean, depends on the Home Secretary at the time. They could get lenient and let her out. You know what they're like.
Yeah, I know. Yes,
I
but
mean,
not
the woke are taking over.
No, not when you get an whole life sentence like that, you know. And I mean, what
No.
gets me, and there was quite a few TV programs on this morning about this, about saying that she should have been in court. You know,
Yeah.
she's a coward, but they have got the power to stream it live to the cell. You know, and have
Yeah. I mean, they should have dragged her into court. I think personally.
yeah.
Just say hello quick. I've got someone on Facebook. So good evening, Afghan Saffron. Welcome.
Nice. Good evening. And Rebecca says, "Who likes kebabs?" Me.
The
And
chicken
Richard.
kebab.
Yeah, Richard and Carter.
Yeah.
I like the mixed ones best, Tim. You know, so
Tesco's is open till 11 p.m. Oh,
yes, that's if you want a drink. Yes, I know. Yes,
Yeah.
we do know that. Mind you, I've got about 7 bottles in there, so I'm all right. 2 bottles of gin. I've got sloe gin and an orange.
Who's got kebabs?
And 7 bottles of whiskey, 2 bottles of cognac, and 2 bottles of wine, red wine.
Outrageous. Anyway, we just dived off the subject for a second. So this Lucy Ledby,
yeah,
I think in that sort of case, and there should be. I mean, that was a clear-cut case. I mean, she's murdered all these kids and probably a load more. And cop killers. I think what they should do is bring back the death penalty for those types of what's names. 14 life sentences. She's never going to get out of prison. That's going to cost us, the taxpayer, a huge amount of money to keep her in prison for all that time.
Yeah, because I mean,
how is that right? How is that right?
It isn't. Yeah, the complaint about the immigrants, how much we're paying to keep them. Well, you think that if she lives to be 80, that's over 40. What is she? 33.
Yeah.
47 years. She could live, or maybe longer. And how much does it cost to keep an inmate in prison daily or weekly? A lot of money. Yeah. I mean, I am a great believer in an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, a life for a life. If you take a life intentionally, which is what she's done, because she hasn't taken one, she's taken 7 and tried with 6 others that we know of.
Yeah.
So why should she have the privilege of serving all those years? At least she can take every breath every day, whereas those kids can't take a breath every day. They're gone.
Absolutely, yeah, and that's. I mean that. I mean, and then to have the gall not to turn up to being sentenced. I mean, that's outrageous. I mean, they're just not on. I'm afraid.
Yeah.
So
Andy says, open cell door and turn a blind eye.
Which is likely to happen.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And Richard's put, she deserves to rot in prison. Well, they don't let them rot, do they? That's the problem. They don't let them rot.
No.
They get $3 square a day and they're looked after, and she'll probably be in a little bit of a segregated wing for a time until the dust settles, and then she'll be put into the main population. If she gets in the main population, somebody will have a go at her.
Well, that's if she goes to prison. I mean, she might go to Rampton or a mental institution, because I mean, she has shown no remorse at all, no empathy at all.
She's clearly guilty. Absolutely clearly guilty.
Yeah. But I mean, another thing that gets me with it all is that the doctors told the management after a couple of cases, and the management says, "Oh, go away."
I mean, the other side of it is that they're now going to open an inquiry of some sort.
Yeah.
Now, what sort of inquiry are they going to open? That's the question. Is it going to be an open one, or is it going to be one of these fuzzed quangos that looks at it and and takes several years to come up with there's lessons learned. Well, they learn
Yeah,
lessons every time, but they don't learn them. That's the problem. They
yeah, they
don't
don't. I
learn the
mean,
lessons.
look at Beverly Allitt for 30 odd years ago, who
Yeah,
killed those
and
four.
they still haven't
Nothing's
learned their
been learned.
lessons. No.
No, no. You know,
Anyway,
and this is it.
before this winds us up even more,
Yeah, and what else? I mean, there was a case of a fake doctor about 3 or 4 years ago in this area, in the Yorkshire, Lincolnshire area. You
yeah,
know, it faked documents to get in as a doctor, and you look at it, Tim, and you think, how did they get away with it? You know, I mean,
well, they do
if you
because
go for a care job or anything like that, you've got to go through police checks. So, who's not doing the job right?
I don't know. Somebody's not pulling the weight somewhere along the line.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the other story that popped up, and this was from yesterday, and they've arrived back today or arriving back today at some stage. The
Tomorrow morning.
Lionesses. Now, all right, they lost the game. They're still second in the world.
Yeah, yeah.
They've done better than Australia and all the other teams, haven't they? They're still number 2.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I
look,
mean, we ought to be.
turn it around and
ought
have a positive from it.
Yeah,
They've done
we
really
should,
well to get where they are.
yeah, we should be
And
proud of them as a
yeah,
nation. As a nation, we should be proud. I don't think they deserve any knighthoods, damehoods,
no,
or whatever
no,
like that,
definitely
because
not.
they were just doing the job. But they
Well,
have
they didn't do
entertained
it
us.
to the fullest extent.
Yeah,
If they had done their job properly, they would have won.
yeah, yeah. But
However, having said that, I mean, I didn't see all the game. I put my hand up. It was winding me up because of the stoppages and the time it was taking to make decisions and stuff like that. I'd had enough, so I had work to do. So I come and did that instead, and then poke my nose bit in and out. Did Spain deserve to win it? Did the referee help Spain win?
No,
Did
Spain
it
deserved.
unnerve them with all the stoppages?
No, it was bad tactics in the first half. She got the tactics wrong. She changed it at half time, and they played better in the second half, but they didn't have the killer instinct. They couldn't find that one moment of brilliance.
No. And
Lionesses, Andy says, Lionesses played like kittens. Mind you, one mistake cost us. Yeah, it did. And it was one mistake. But that was Lucy Bronze trying to dribble in the centre of the Spain defence, and they took the ball off her, and where she'd left, it was wide open. So, but yeah, I think that they should be applauded for getting up to second in the world.
Yeah,
they've done well over the past 18 months, and they've made the nation proud. But they don't deserve any damehoods
or
MBEs
MBEs or OBEs or anything like that. That's what really gets me, is that they dish these honours and awards out like confetti. And for people just doing their job.
Yeah. I mean,
the idea is that gets it for over and above.
Yeah.
But there you go. That's my take on it.
That's another thing for another time, Tim, because as a nation, we do dish out rewards to people that don't really deserve it. You know, and I mean, I know of people that have worked in the same job for 40, 50 years, and they get no recognition at all. All right, if you're doing charitable works and helping the community, yes, then I think people have got a right to have some sort of recognition. But why should a pop star get an MBE?
Absolutely,
because they get well paid for what they do. Now, if they do charitable works and they keep it quiet, then that's entirely different. But you know, being a politician, Well, that logo keeps on changing at the top.
No, I know. I'm good, aren't I?
I did notice that. I did notice it.
That's my new
What's it?
logo, that one.
Rebecca wants an MBE.
Now, it's funny. I got put forward for 2 different awards, and I didn't get them because I wasn't entitled to have them in the job I was in. Had they put me forward for an MBE, I would have got it.
Yeah. Can you answer John? Can you answer John's question then, Tim?
Oh, what's that? What is the best party to vote for if you are big business? There's only one party to vote for, and that's the Reform UK Party. They are the only party that will get this country back on some sort of track, I'm afraid. The Conservatives look at the damage they're doing. The Labour are going to be an absolute disaster, and the Liberal Democrats, well, God knows what they're going to do for us. Nothing.
Yeah.
Well, they'll have us back into the EU, paying out billions more than we were before. And that's my take on it. Reform UK is the only party that have got any chance of doing anything for good for this country, I'm afraid. There you go. It's my 2 pennies.
Yeah. So Richard says, I'd like an award for dealing with YouTube stress.
Oh, yeah. They definitely won't back Reform UK, that's for sure.
No,
they'll back Labour.
They'll back Donald Trump as well.
So, should we have a move on
Yes,
and have a
if
look
you
at
want to, Tim.
Now? This is sort of just an ongoing. This is just getting out of hand now. The latest bit of news, I don't know if you saw it today, but Britain soft touch asylum interviews. Soft touch on interviews. They're not allowed to ask them anything.
No.
And they got to believe them.
Yeah.
And then they grant them asylum anyway. And
yeah,
if they say you can't, sorry, you don't get asylum, they still get to stay.
Yeah, yeah. But
how is that right?
But it's a bit in the left-hand corner there. 4 in 10 boat migrants are from war-free Albania, so they are just coming over for a better life.
Yeah, but, criminal life.
Yeah. So why don't they apply legally if they want to come over here, not come in illegally?
Yeah, fully agree with that. I mean, it's frustrating as a taxpayer. I mean, they're still taxing my pension, my army pension. I've worked 44 years for. They are taxing. How is that correct? How is that right? I mean, when I get my state pension next year, they'll be taxing that as well.
Well, yeah. Oh, Doggy's playing up.
Hang on.
Yeah. So Richard's put, I actually watched something on BBC about this yesterday, and it was horrific. What they've been through. I get everyone won't agree with them, but nobody deserves what they have been through. No, agreed on that, Richard.
Yeah.
But they put themselves through it because they pay these criminals, gangs, to put them in boats to cross over. So they've got the money. They just want a better form of life. They want jobs, well-paid jobs, which they don't have in their country. But why should we then, as a nation, suffer? Because every one of us are suffering because of it. They're getting all the help, the doctors, NHS, and everything, and yet our own people are struggling to see doctors. Yet as soon as they come over, that they see a doctor, get checked over straight away. I haven't seen my doctor in years, all right, I went today for a blood test, but I only saw the nurse.
And the other thing with it all is it's not stopping the boats. The boats are still coming. There was
you'll
another
never,
500 odd yesterday.
yeah,
There
you'll
was
never stop them.
1,000 odd the other day.
Yeah,
I think it was the record 1,295
yeah,
in one
yeah.
day.
But you will never stop them, Tim, because you've got the criminal gangs over on the opposite side taking all the money
Yeah.
and putting
What they should do is if because they're picking them up 9 times out of 10 on the French side of the coast
yeah,
of the channel. What they should do is land them straight back in France.
yeah.
The law says we can do that.
Yeah,
Why do they insist on picking them up in the French side of the channel and bringing them all the way across to here? Look at
yeah.
the 6 that died the other day. The RNI boat was almost back in Dover when it rushed back to 2 miles off the French side of the coast to pick these migrants up. And the French were sat there watching.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So why didn't they go?
Why are the French not picking them up?
Well,
There was that one the other day. They recorded the conversation between the French warship and the British warship, and the French were saying they don't want us to pick them up; they want you to pick them up. Oh, okay, we'll come and get them into French waters.
Yeah, yeah. I like what Richard says. I agree. If they're escaping war-torn areas, Richard, then yeah, I agree. We should support them, and if they've got skills, then they can help the economy and help our citizens. Yeah, give them asylum. But it's these people that are coming over from Albania, which isn't a war-torn country. It's just a
It's
third
a poor
world
country.
Yeah,
It's a poor country in Europe, and there's lots of poor countries in Europe.
Yeah, yeah.
We're going to be a poor country in Europe with the way things are going.
Point. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's,
Well, we are because
it's costing the UK taxpayer £300 million a year just to house these illegal migrants. 300 million of our taxpayers' money.
Yeah.
It's costing six to £8 million a day just to put them in hotels.
Yeah.
How is that right?
Yeah, it isn't. But there again, you know, if you're fleeing a war-torn country, I agree they should be given asylum. But they come through a lot of EU countries where they could get asylum. So why do they pick on
There's
Britain?
been 100,000 cross the Mediterranean already this year into Spain. Not Spain, into Italy and Greece.
Yeah.
100,000.
Yeah, and I see one country's having a vote on what the population think. I think the same should happen here. Yeah, I think that they should have a vote here whether you want these illegal immigrants in here or not. You're always going to get a few people that go, yes, we want them, no matter who they are. But we, as a country, we're only a small nation. We can't afford it. Especially,
I mean, we're overpopulated as it is. This country is overpopulated. We've got somewhere around about 70 million people in this tiny island.
Yeah.
What we should be doing is sending a lot of them to Scotland and Wales. However, have you seen what's been going on in Wales over in the Llanelli?
No.
Llanelli, whatever they call it?
No.
They've got this hotel, a posh hotel in Llanelli. They sacked everybody, got it open, ready for the migrants to go in, and the whole village, the whole town, is now blockading it, stopping them going in because it's on a private road into it.
Yeah.
So they can't get access to this private road.
Oh, no, I didn't know that. That's good then. And
So
Richard's put many of them from Syria have more money then you can imagine they pay up to 30,000
Yeah.
to criminals to get them out, as government won't give them documents. Yeah. Well, me and Tim have talked about this before, that he was in Afghanistan and there were many people over there who used to help the British Army and the Americans, and who are still there and hiding. Now they should be allowed to come over because they helped.
Yeah, I mean, and those that we left behind have, some of them has managed to get out and come through the correct channels. They got out into Pakistan or Iran. They've gone to the British embassy or British consulate. They've taken them under the wing, brought them in on the Arab scheme. They checked them out and make sure that they work for us and all the rest of it. They're legal. They're brought in. That's fine. They've come through the legal and safe routes.
Yeah.
With all the right paperwork. But these ones that's coming across the channel, throwing the paperwork in the hogging, ain't.
Yeah, well, I mean, some of them could be criminals, couldn't they? You know, I mean, you've got no way of checking.
I mean, the vast majority, the absolute vast majority, are young Muslim men of fighting age.
Yeah.
Now, if they're escaping war-torn countries, what's happening with all their women and kids? They just leave them behind. So that's what they care about, women and kids. And it's going to end in violence in this country. You're already seeing it. You're already seeing it. Look at what's going on in Ireland at the moment.
Yeah.
There's some pretty horrible stuff going on in Ireland at the moment. So, yeah. Anyway, should we move on?
Yes, Tim. Yeah. I think we've done that subject.
Yeah, I think we've done it to death. So the last subject that caught my eye was Chris Evans.
Yeah.
He's been diagnosed with skin cancer, and he announced it on the news on Virgin Radio. So they've got it in the early stages, so it's treatable. So he's got a melanoma.
Yeah. Skin cancer, isn't it?
So skin cancer. So yeah, he's obviously been out in the sun. I mean, somebody like him shouldn't be out in the sun.
No, I like warm weather, but I don't like sunny. I don't sit out in the sun.
No, I don't. I mean, she'll go and Lady Hill. She'll lay in the sun for hours.
Yeah. No, I always sit in the shade. You know, if the sun's out, I always find, like animals, I find a nice shaded area.
Me, I take it or leave it. I mean, depends. I mean, obviously, when I was in hot and dusty, horrible places where I'm working, carrying a shitload of kit, you're sweating your gonads off.
Yeah.
You just have to get on with it. But yeah, I don't purposely go out and sit in it unless I have to.
Yeah. I mean, I'd rather sit in the pub, Wetherspoons, having a nice pint, you know, instead of being out in the sun.
So yeah, I mean, the sun can be very dangerous, and people don't realise this. I mean, up here in the sort of where we are in the northern hemisphere, sort of around about the 50 to 60 degrees north, we're not too bad.
No,
you go further south to sort of the 40 degrees and lower latitudes towards the equator and stuff. The sun's a lot stronger down there.
Yeah.
And people go for sort of 2 weeks sunning themselves in Greece and Spain and all that. They don't quite realise how much damage they can do to themselves.
I know. I mean, you look at the people who live there, like in Turkey, Spain, Portugal, Greece. They cover up.
Yeah, they don't go in it.
No,
you go even further south to sort of North Africa and stuff like that, and they go around properly covered up.
Yeah.
And you go to places like Dubai and all that, you're sitting air conditioned all day. You don't go anywhere.
Yeah, no. but you look, us British, that all we seem to do when they go on holiday is sit round by the pool, get the deck chairs
and
or
drink.
the sun loungers, go for a dip in the pool, come out, let the sun dry you, and then go back in for another dip, and then also a couple of jars, should I say, or more than a couple of jars, so they get dehydrated, and then they think, "Oh, I've had me 2 weeks in the sun, and that's it." And come, I mean, when I used to go on holiday, we used to travel. I've been to the States about 24 times over the years, sometimes twice a year, and all I used to do was fly into an airport, pick up a car, and drive. And then if I liked an area, we'd stop a couple of days, and then we'd get in the car again and move on and find somewhere else. Because I enjoyed seeing not touristy areas. I used to like getting off the beaten track, and although we have done the tourist areas like San Francisco, Los Angeles, Palm Springs, where the floods are happening now. In the desert, floods in the desert.
Yeah. Well, it happens. Not often, but it does.
Yeah, well, it hasn't happened for 84 years in Southern California.
But they put that down to global boiling now, wouldn't they?
Yeah. Well, because we're burning all this fossil fuel, it's got to affect it.
Well, I'm going to burn a bit of fossil fuel when I go on my holiday. I'm off
I know.
To France and Spain on a motorbike. I should be burning some petrol.
Yes, but a bike, you don't burn as much as a car or a HGV or a coach, do you? I mean,
no. And I should be getting about 200 odd miles out of a tank of fuel.
Yeah.
Essence, they call it in France, essence.
John says he loves watching us both chatting. Great job to you both. Thank you, John.
Yeah, cheers, John. You're welcome to come on one evening if you wish.
Yeah, and I've enjoyed your 2 podcasts. I haven't seen another one yet. I don't know when episode 3 is coming out, John, but I watch all your podcasts, and I'm really pleased that you seem to be doing so well with your business. Because I saw on Facebook that he was hoping to get a bit more with some other colleges or schools or whatever. You deserve it, John. You work hard on your business. But I'd like to see a few more podcasts or a few more live. Episode 3 will be out in a couple of weeks. Oh, that's good.
Happy days.
Happy days, yeah. We'll watch that and listen to it.
So here again.
Oh, look out. If Katie's in, she'll be having us on Saturday night. Sing a song. I'm still waiting.
Show me the way to go home.
Look.
Man River.
We are looking to book Rick Allen on the podcast.
Who's Rick Allen?
I don't know. You'll have to tell us who Rick Allen is then, John.
You could put me on the podcast. I'll be a great guest.
Yes, you would, wouldn't you? Yeah, with your knowledge of mental illness and
So tomorrow morning, I've got a mucker coming around and gonna have a look at this the Bantam.
Yeah.
Find out why it's leaking.
Oh, Def Leppard.
All right.
And Chris says hello.
I didn't know leopards were deaf.
No, Def Leppard is a group.
Oh, right.
Yeah, isn't it? Heavy metal, I think they are.
Yeah.
And I'm not into music.
Chris is in. Evening, Chris. How you doing, mate?
Yeah.
Def Leppard, eh? What do they do? Do they sing or something?
Yeah, Rebecca's got to go. So thank you, Rebecca, and thank you to her daughter.
Thanks for dropping by.
Yeah.
Don't forget to click the like button before you scarper. Yeah,
really pleased that you enjoy our lives. I mean, we're not as entertaining as Rich and Cara because they're younger than us, Tim. We're the old ones, we're the...
yeah, but we're old and wise.
Wise, yeah. Agreed on that. Yeah.
You
They're young
get,
and inexperienced.
that's it. You get some wiseness from us, wide old sages.
Yeah. So just to let people know, there'll be no Tuesday morning one tomorrow because I've got.
You're ducking, diving, dodging, weaving, ain't you?
Yeah. So
and I'll be out in the toy shed. So
yes,
I might do something from the toy shed.
Yeah, and then tomorrow night it's at 8:30 UK time. It's live awesome quiz night. 30 questions with Tim and Lady Eel from the Eel Manor. Really worth coming in and joining.
If you have a look, it's TV and films, I think, tomorrow night.
Oh, Rich and Carol like that. TV and films, yeah. She'll be good at that.
Yep. Be a good one tomorrow night.
Eh?
Be a good one tomorrow night.
Yeah, well,
you should all do well tomorrow night, actually.
As long as I get the average, as long as I get above 50%, I don't mind, you know.
You'll be doing fine.
That is really well worth doing, you know.
Yeah.
So I recommend the quiz night. If you put the link into the chat or into the description of this live stream, Tim.
Oh, now you're asking.
Yeah, well, put it in the description later on. So John says, "Night, guys, keep up the great work." The great work. Thank you, John, for that. Yeah,
I've got the
we
link
do
now.
attempt to keep up the great work, don't we? We both enjoy live streaming, and that's why we're not bothered about.
There's the link for tomorrow evening.
YouTube feature share. Oh,
yeah,
good. Yes, so we've got Lady Heel who puts Tim in his place on quiz night.
She'll be all over me tomorrow night.
Yeah. But she don't like being on camera.
Straight and narrow. Keep me on the straight and narrow. She will be.
Yeah. But she don't like being on camera.
Scrapping in the house.
Yeah, she don't like being on camera. That's
no, she doesn't.
But you can still hear her. You know,
still there.
Really, they've got a rapport, Tim and his wife. They rub off each other like Richard and Cara do. Richard and Cara are fantastic.
You mean we rub each other up, you mean?
I think you should go over and watch a few episodes of Shoot the Shit on YouTube. See how those two work. I mean, they don't upload now any for some reason, but I wish I could get somebody like that and talk about like they used to. The subjects they used to talk about.
Anyway, should we wind this up? Call it an evening?
Yes, it's been a lovely conversation again. We've had some brilliant.
We've had some meaningful conversation. We've covered some stuff, haven't we? We've covered some stuff.
Yeah.
So until we do it again, thanks everybody. Thank you, Keith, for joining.
Tim, for inviting me on.
No, you're always welcome. You know that. So let's drop you down. Say thank you, everybody, and we'll see you the next time. Possibly, maybe going live tomorrow morning from the toy shed at the Hill Manor. If not, then we're definitely going live 8:30 tomorrow night over on the quiz channel. And I've got another great quiz for you tomorrow night. So until then, TTFN, ta-ta for now.